Around 10 years ago now, we got one of, if arguably, the worst anime to come out of the last 10 years, and that was Berserk 2016. An anime that I feel like should be no introduction at this point, but this show was arguably one of the worst out there. And it's kind of crazy that in the year 2026, we would get another anime 10 years later after Berserk 2016 with the Fist of the North Star anime adaptation. Yeah, I'm not even joking. Two episodes came out just now. I just got done watching it, and I can now comfortably say, after watching two episodes of Fist of the North Star 2026, holy moly. I don't even know where to begin with this thing. Like, let's start us off by saying that is this the worst anime I've seen this year? It's honestly debatable because, man, this is interesting to say that when you really look at this show, and like I said, I can pop up screenshots of this new Fist of the North Star anime, and I can tell you that this is not even coming close to adapting the original 1984 Fist of the North Star anime from back in the day, which defined and influenced a genre of shonen anime and what was to come. And again, I may not have grown up watching Fist of the North Star back in my day because this came out back in 1984, mind you, but this was the show that really put shonen anime on the map. There really was, if anything, if it wasn't for this show, we wouldn't have the Dragon Ball Z universe, the Naruto franchise, Bleach, and even like other modern day shonen animes that he comes to know and love. So to see Fist of the North Star getting a re-anime adaptation in the year 2026 is one that I was not only looking forward to because right off the bat the trailer was already sucking major ass. I even made a video talking about this not too long ago, but simultaneously, like, the amount of anticipation for the show was leaving me a little bit like already concerning given that the animation was giving off again Berserk 2016 vibes. And strictly speaking about the animation alone, it's honestly crazy that Fist of the North Star would get this treatment first and foremost. Like, again, we're talking about Fist of the North Star, one of the biggest, most talked about, highly the most influential animes of all time, and you gave it the readaptation treatment animation bullshit that was similar to Berserk 2016 when we already have other shows that got readaptation that also came out around the time period, like the recent Rama One Half that was adapted so well by Mop Studios, or Ursa Yatsura's two seasons that was adapted really well by David Productions. And it's like the comparisons between these shows, it's like it's crazy that we got much better shows and studios that put a lot of care and effort put into this, and yet here we got Fist of the North Star, and it's just like boom, we got like the worst shit imaginable. Now, I will say, despite how god awful the animation is, it actually wraps itself around to be like a fun bad experience. Like surprisingly, I didn't come out of the show thinking that okay, I'm gonna shut this off, gonna drop this after two episodes, and just call it the worst anime. Right? We're not talking about like another really bad and dismal show like Oedale Fire Slayer, for example, which I've been referencing as of late. But this show at least was able to like capture and maintain the original story of Fist of the North Star. At least for what I am watching from these two episodes so far, I think that it's really good. It still has like its cheesy one-liner, stupid fight sequence moments that are still maintained in this recent readaptation of the show. But I gotta say, it came at the cost of where the animation is so subpar. But like I said, there are some really good fun bad moments that I was like really blown away that I actually was at times like laughing at it because it was actually fun to like watch. And again, is it like unwatchable to like look at half the time? Surprisingly, no. Like if you really ignore like the really weird shiny hair animation that happens in the show, or the moments where like Ken goes to like full on transformation and it's like the weirdest, glossiest like body you're gonna ever come across, there are like some surprisingly good and passable moments where it kind of goes to like a borderline JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for the animation, if that makes sense. And again, I'm not dissing saying that this is like a ripoff of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or some shit, right? Like I'm getting like hints of that being like sprinkled in these two episodes, and it's like they were trying to make that emulation, but they failed miserably, or maybe like a Baki in an instance. I don't know. Either way, the show surprisingly it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Again, if you excuse the really god awful animation that honestly Fist of the North Star does not deserve, I think that this show is honestly a watch if you want to watch like some fun bad anime. But I understand that if you really love this franchise, the original OG Fist of the North Star, you're gonna come off away from this show like really disappointed, really upset, and absolutely probably naming this the worst anime of the year. And I have no doubt that this is probably going to be everyone's worst anime of the year. And I just want to simply rant and talk about this. I mean, what more can be said about this? I know I could keep regurgitating the same talking points over and over again about Fist of the North Star 2026, but yeah, this was not good. They did our boy Ken injustice here by giving us this worse, weird anime piss filter bullshit that's just so bad. And it's such a shame, man. Fist of the North Star's readaptation could have been like the other shows I already touted prior, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, at the rate it's going, this could turn out to be like a fun bad experience instead of being like a worst anime of the year contender, at least for me personally. But yeah, this is not good. I am gonna have to sit through this. I'm gonna have to sit through all of this because why fucking not? But it is what it is. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you on the next one later.